What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the South Side. This is your boy Corey. We're going to replace a fuel pump on the E46. This should be a 5-minute video. Let's get to it. First, tools. You'll need a 10mm and a flathead. Remove the rear seat bench by simply pulling up. Your particular model may have sound deadening. Go ahead and remove that black grayish sound deadening, and you will see this round black circle with 4 10mm bolts. Go ahead and get your 10mm and remove those. Lift off the black covering to the fuel pump. Gently, be careful of the wiring harness. Slide it over, and you can see your fuel pump. You're going to clean as much dirt and debris from around the fuel pump so it doesn't fall into your fuel tank when you get ready to open the fuel pump cover. Next, we're going to remove the electrical connector. Use your flathead. There's a little slot here. Put your flathead in there, gently pry. There we go. Takes a little bit of effort, but you can see it's out. So we're going to remove the fuel line. If you haven't done so, look up how to relieve the fuel pressure to make sure no fuel sprays everywhere in your interior. And for redundancy, I'm going to use a vice grip and a cloth to clamp off the line. Use your flathead, undo the clamp. At this point, no smoking, no sparks, no electronic devices, or at least minimize them. And you technically should be wearing hand protection. So, boom. Gently pull the hose away. There we go. Wipe up any fuel that spills as quickly as possible, just in case. Once the hose is removed, take your flathead again, and this metal ring, you're going to spin it counterclockwise. Small hammer here helps. Not necessary, but it definitely helps. The retaining ring is off. There is a little ring on top of the fuel pump housing. Stick your finger, wiggle it a little. Go slowly, make sure to let any excess fuel drain. And if you have any sort of tray nearby, you can go ahead and lay your fuel pump in there. And now we can install the new one. Okay, now that you have the old fuel pump out, go ahead and compare it to the new fuel pump. As you can see, we're missing this blue gasket. Luckily, I ordered a new one. You're going to install this on the fuel pump before you install the fuel pump into the tank. Trust me, it makes your life a lot easier. So check the orientation. You can see that the flange side is down. And we're going to slip it over the float there, over the pickup tube, and gently up to the top. Now we are ready to install the fuel pump into the car. Excuse my dirty wheels. Now we're ready to install the fuel pump back into the fuel tank. Gently make sure the float does not get bent. Insert the fuel pump into the tank. Insert the pickup tube into the tank. Rotate it so that the fuel pump hose nipple is pointing toward the front of the car. And the gasket is the trickiest part. You want to install that correctly. So you can kind of press down on it, make sure it's flush all the way around. There's also a little tab here where you can verify that your fuel pump is in the correct orientation. Once it is, firmly press down. On the outside, don't press on the nipple or any other places. Double and triple check that everything is seated correctly. Everything feels nice and tight. Now we can go ahead and do the reverse of disassembly, which is always my favorite part. You're going to grab your locking ring. I have a new one in this case, but you can reuse your old one if it's still good. Go ahead and place it on there. Fight with it until it decides it wants to work. And once you start feeling a bit of resistance, you can use your flathead and your hammer and lock it. Be gentle, take your time. That's what she said. That should be enough. Now, we take our fuel hose, insert it onto the nipple here. Use your flathead. Tighten our clamp. Not too tight, but definitely tight enough. Take your electrical connector, place it back on its other side, the fuel pump side. Make sure it clicks. And that's it. You now have a brand new fuel pump. Turn the key on and off a few times. Make sure it primes the fuel rail. Start the car, and everything should be in working order. Once you confirm that everything is operating normally with no leaks, go ahead and put your cover back on. Should fall right into place, no effort. Add your 10mm nuts.